Hi, everybody. I'm Brittany Lewis, a breaking news reporter here at Forbes. Joining me now is my colleague, staff writer Zach Everson. Zach, thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me, Brittany.
Of course, we are having a continuation of a conversation we had back in December about former President Donald Trump's book, Our Journey Together. You have some updated reporting on the royalties of the book. What can you tell us?
Sure. So to refresh everybody who doesn't remember our conversation in December, which props, good memory for you. I forgot about that. So Donald Trump published a coffee table book of photos that were mostly sourced from pictures in the public domain that were taken by the official White House photographer. The New York Times reported that she was going to publish a book, and he asked her to hold off until he did it, and she did. So anyways, he came out with this book, and he wrote his own captions, but much of the work there was in the public domain. They were selling it from his website, or excuse me, from 45books.com. The publisher is Winning Team Publisher, which his son Don Jr. is one of the co-founders of, along with Sergio Gore, who's a former Trump operative. And they were asking, I think it was $75 for the book, $230 for signed copies. What we just learned was from his financial disclosure, and that was how much money he made from this. He reported $5.75 million in income from the sale of that book.
That is a huge astronomical number, almost $6 million from this book. And I want to read you verbatim your reporting. So you wrote this: Donald Trump used a private family company to publish a work of mostly taxpayer-subsidized material, then boosted sales with donor funds. Is this illegal?
No, not that I know of. It's honestly, it's Trump at his best, doing what Trump does. Turning nothing into something and helping himself do it along the way. Where, yeah, the book was published, as I said, with Winning Team Publishing, and then if you look at FEC records, his PAC and his joint fundraising committee paid Winning Team Publishing $231,000 last year. Now, a spokesperson didn't respond when we asked this time about it, but earlier we had caught a $48,000 payment, and the spokesperson confirmed, yes, that was for Our Journey Together. So at a minimum, $48,000 of donor money was used to buy the book. Maximum through the end of last year, we're looking at $231,000 is the maximum. It's not a huge amount considering they're saying they sold, the publishing team says they sold over 500,000 copies and Trump made $5.75 million, but it certainly helps. And the joint fundraising committee is still offering copies of the book online in exchange for donations of, I think it's $75 or more.
You've followed the money a lot in politics. Have you ever seen anything like this?
Not to this extent. I mean, it's certainly something where you see senators and congressmen and governors will use campaign funds to boost their book sales, whether it's using campaign funds to advertise, to direct people to go buy it from retailers, or using money to buy it directly from the publishers, which is a totally legit deal. And as long as the FEC has said it's fine to use their campaign money to buy their book, as long as it's done directly from the publisher in such a way that there are no profits from the resale, and that if there are any profits, that it needs to be turned over to charity. This didn't apply to Trump. He's not in Congress, so it's a moot issue. So yeah, I mean, $5.7 million is a lot of money for a book. So he did what Trump does, just found this loophole and exploited it to a massive amount of profit.
Like you said, $5.75 million is a ton of money, but this also isn't former President Donald Trump's first book. What do the royalties from those books look like in the past few months?
The Art of the Deal, which was his most famous book, and we're talking a time frame here from January 1 of 2022 all the way through about last month. The reporting, they have to report it in wide ranges. This newest one, they reported a more specific number, but The Art of the Deal brought in somewhere between $100,000 and $1 million, which, not bad for a book that was published in '87. He had 4 books that earned him between $5,000 and $15,000, one between $2,500 and $5,000, and there were 10 that earned less than $200, which is much more typical for what you'd find for an author. But The Art of the Deal continues to sell pretty well.
Something else in your reporting that stuck out to me is the former First Lady Melania Trump also got paid. What can you tell us about that?
Sure. She, the same disclosure reported that she made $250,000 in licensing fees, and a spokesperson for Winning Team Publishing said that was the result of some promotional work she had done for Our Journey Together. Seems like a pretty decent amount to be paid for promoting somebody else's book.
And there's another book from Winning Team called Letters to Trump. I believe this came out in April. What can you tell us about that?
It is the follow-up, which in a similar pattern also relies on works from other people. Winning Team, in the first one, Our Journey Together, he did write his own captions there for the photos. This one consists of letters to the former president over the last 40 years. So, contributors to Donald Trump's book include Hillary Clinton, Alec Baldwin, and Kim Jong-un, who are, probably didn't sign up to go ahead and do that. I think Oprah was in there as well. So it's, again, another example of the former president using other people's work to write a book. And it's currently for sale at $100 with autographed copies going for $400. So they've jacked up the price a little bit from the last one as well. So I have not seen any campaigns advertising this book yet. And we won't see, I guess his next disclosure is due in May of next year. So it won't be until then that we have any idea how much he's made from this book.
And I'm assuming people like Hillary Clinton, Alec Baldwin, Kim Jong-un are not getting paid for this book.
No. This is, in fact, for the last one, he didn't even give them proper photo credits to the photographers who took these photos. They were kind of just lumped in all together at the end in an acknowledgement, so a thank you to them. So, this is money going to Trump.
Zach Everson, thanks so much.
Always a pleasure.